Welcome, my dear viewers, to Meghan and Harry Tales channel. I am your host, Kelly, bringing you the latest. Stay tuned for more. Our conversation today is centered around a woman who has been persistently and controversially scrutinized by the media. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. A woman who has been the subject of countless headlines, op-eds and social media debates. Why, you might ask, does Meghan continue to remain such a hot topic in the UK media? What is it about her that draws such relentless attention and criticism? And perhaps most importantly, what does this ongoing media scrutiny reveal about the deep-seated issues within Britain's tabloid culture? Today, we delve into the complex narrative of Meghan's media scrutiny, a narrative that is as intriguing as it is perplexing. We'll examine how the Duchess, despite her physical distance from the royal family, remains metaphorically entangled in a media storm that shows no signs of abating. From her relationship with Prince Harry, to her role as a royal, to her personal style, to her interactions with the public, Meghan's every move continues to be monitored, dissected, and spun into sensational headlines. And while some might argue that this comes with the territory of being a royal, we must wonder whether the level of scrutiny Meghan faces is proportionate or excessive. We'll also take a closer look at the narrative that has been crafted around Meghan, a narrative that seems to be constantly rewritten to fit certain agendas. This desperate rewrite, as we will see, often revolves around the idea that Meghan is a diva with her own thoughts, a narrative that seems to be more about maintaining a certain image of the monarchy than about Meghan herself. In today's episode, we'll explore how Meghan's every move continues to be monitored, criticised, and spun into headlines. We invite you to join us on this journey as we uncover the layers of Meghan's media scrutiny and consider what they reveal about the larger cultural and societal dynamics at play. 5 years have passed, yet the desperate rewrite continues. The narrative that has been constructed around Meghan and Harry's departure from the royal family is one that continues to be spun by the media and royalists alike. This narrative is one of blame and vilification, a far cry from the reality of the situation. Harry and Meghan faced a deluge of criticism and abuse from both the media and the palace. Yet, rather than receiving support from those who should have been their closest allies, they were met with silence. This lack of support, this failure to step in and help when it was most needed, only added fuel to the fire. The Sussexes, however, were not passive victims in this. They made the brave decision to step away from the turmoil, to forge a new life for themselves, free from the constant scrutiny and criticism. This was not an act of diva-like behaviour as many would have you believe, but an act of self-preservation and a bid for a happier, healthier life. And yet, the narrative continues to be that Meghan won't come back to the UK because she isn't popular, a narrative far from the truth. The reality is, Meghan has no desire to return to a place where she was met with such hostility and lack of support. This isn't about popularity, it's about self-respect and well-being. The royal rewrite is a desperate attempt to shift the blame, to paint Meghan as the villain in a story where she was, in fact, the victim. This is not about Meghan being a diva. It's about a woman standing up for herself and her family, refusing to accept the treatment she was subjected to. 5 years on, and the conversation continues, the same tired narrative spun again and again. But as we look to the future, we must question this narrative, challenge it, and seek the truth. Because the truth is, Meghan and Harry had every right to walk away, to seek a better life, and that, my dear viewers, is the real story. Amidst the criticisms, there are begrudging admissions of the truth. It's like trying to spot a star in a cloudy night sky, rare but oh so illuminating when it happens. One such moment came when some royalists finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that Prince Harry is indeed happy in his new life. A life that he has chosen, a life that he has built with Meghan, away from the glare of the UK media and the rigid constraints of the monarchy. The truth can be a stubborn thing, and it refuses to be bent by the whims of palace PR or tabloid sensationalism. Harry's happiness is evident. It shines through in his interviews, in his philanthropic initiatives, and in his role as a doting husband and father. It's a truth that no amount of rewriting can suppress. Another begrudging admission came when it was conceded that the monarchy might not have acted as carefully as they should have. An understatement, to say the least, but an admission nonetheless. Meghan and Harry were left to fend for themselves, in the face of an unrelenting media storm. The palace, the very institution that should have protected them, stood by and watched. This acknowledgement, though begrudging, points to the deep-rooted issues within the monarchy itself. These admissions, rare as they are, highlight the fact that the Sussexes had every right to step away, to seek a life where they could thrive, not just survive. It's an acknowledgement of their resilience and their strength in the face of adversity, and yet, despite these admissions, the conversation hasn't moved on. It's just so bizarre that this is still the conversation after 5 years. Meghan and Harry have moved on. They have built a new life. But it seems the UK media and some royalists are stuck in a time warp, unable to let go of their narrative. It's time for them to move on too, to accept the truth, and to respect the choices of Harry and Meghan. Even if she was a diva, which she wasn't, why does it matter at this point? The term diva is often thrown around as an insult, but let's pause for a moment and consider the absurdity of this label. Originally, diva was a title of respect bestowed upon celebrated female opera singers. It's derived from Latin, meaning divine. Over time, however, the term has morphed into a derogatory label, often used to belittle women who dare to assert themselves or display ambition. Now let's think about Meghan, a woman who walked away from the royal life, not out of diva-like caprice, but to protect her mental health and the well-being of her family. A woman who, even after stepping back from royal duties, continues to be of service to others through her charitable work. Is this the behaviour of a diva? The diva label seems to have become a convenient excuse to dismiss Meghan's legitimate concerns and experiences. It's a way to trivialise her struggles and downplay the severity of the media scrutiny she's faced. It's a way to avoid confronting the uncomfortable truths about media bias and the double standards that women, particularly women of colour, face in the public eye. The absurdity of the diva label becomes even more apparent when we consider how long Meghan has been away from the UK. She's been gone from the country for twice as long as she lived there, and yet the label persists. It clings to her, an unwanted accessory that she didn't ask for and certainly doesn't deserve. One can't help but wonder if a woman who stands up for herself, who refuses to be silenced, who fights for her rights and the rights of others, is labelled a diva, then perhaps we need more divas in this world. She's been gone from the UK twice as long as she lived there. So isn't it time we retired this tired old label and focused on the person that Meghan truly is? A woman of strength, resilience and compassion, not a diva, but a force to be reckoned with. We've explored the relentless media scrutiny that surrounds Meghan, but what can we do about it? I hear you asking. Well, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed today. We've delved into the insidious royal rewrite, a narrative that seeks to distort the truth about Meghan and Harry's departure from the royal family. This narrative, propagated by the media and certain royalists, paints Meghan as a diva who shirked her royal duties, rather than a woman who, alongside her husband, chose to step away from a situation that was causing them great distress. We've also touched on the begrudging admissions that are slowly starting to surface. Admissions that perhaps the monarchy didn't handle the situation as well as it could have, and that Harry and Meghan are indeed happy with their new life. And finally, we've examined the absurdity of the diva label that's been assigned to Meghan. The fact is, it doesn't matter whether she's a diva or not. She's no longer part of the royal family and hasn't lived in the UK for years. So why does her character continue to be scrutinised and criticised? The answer lies in the way we consume media. We need to be critical of the stories we're told, especially when they involve public figures like Meghan. We need to question the narratives that are presented to us and not simply accept them as truth. Remember, every story has multiple sides, and it's up to us to seek out a balanced perspective. Don't let the media dictate your opinions. Do your own research, form your own conclusions, and most importantly, respect the rights of others to do the same. So, as we wrap up, let's not just be passive viewers, let's be active participants in the media we consume. Let's question, let's discuss, and let's stand up against unfair narratives. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Show some love by subscribing and sharing the video. Remember to leave a comment. Thank you. I am your loyal host, Kelly.